Hello, hello, gorgeous NFA Money Mamas. It's time for a biz breakdown session on the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast. I am here today with Jennifer Chapman. She is the founder of Just Commit Coaching. You all know that I love that name because it's very NFA, no fucking around style. One of the things I say a lot is, decide, commit, take NFA action. And that commitment piece is huge because when you commit to something, you're cutting off other opportunities, other possibilities, and you're signaling to the universe that you're serious. So that's very NFA style. So it's going to be really fun to have Jennifer on today. Of course, as you know, for these biggest breakdown sessions, we highlight her business, her journey, and she help her with any tips to scale faster, which of course helps all of you because we're all in it together, building our businesses. From the NFA style, it's doing what you love, making money from your zone of genius, and getting into the zone of manifestation. So we're going to have a fun conversation today. Thanks for coming on the show, Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Amanda. I'm excited.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, we met on LinkedIn. I like to share where I meet people so that you all know that it's possible to build your business through social media DMing.
Yeah.
I meet a ton of people that way. Do you, Jennifer?
I do. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. Okay. So I always start episodes with this question, and then we'll see where it takes us. If I could give you a magic wand and say to you, hey, you can use this magic wand to create anything you want in your business in 2023, what would that be?
I would love for my business to be led with my way of speaking engagements, truthfully. I mean, I am a coach, but I also speak. And speaking to groups of people, teams of people, different audiences, that really fills my cup. And I feel like with the story that I have, there's so many different layers and levels to it that resonates with so many people out there. And it gives them, inspiration and hope and motivation to, I'm extremely passionate about the mindset piece of all of this work. And so if I can share something with someone in an audience, that can help make them think potentially differently and take different action than they were before, that is, that fills my cup.
Awesome. Ooh, it sounds like you have a juicy story. I can't wait to hear it. First, from the business standpoint, are you currently doing a lot of speaking or just a little bit?
Yeah, there's a blend. There's a blend of speaking and coaching right now, for sure.
So coaching, speaking, but your ideal would be to really have your speaking be the overarching part of your business.
I would.
The overarching or main. Would you say like you would prefer to get rid of doing one-on-one or?
No, not get rid of it, but to generate leads from the speaking engagements to build my coaching platform based on, the audiences and teams and groups that I speak to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. And are there any, before we go to stuck points, share why you do what you do. It sounds like there's a great story there.
Yeah, it is. It's powerful. And that's why I share it. So I'm a former corporate sales exec. And I was in sales for 15 years. And then in 2017, at age 34, I suffered a life-changing stroke.
Wow.
While I was in corporate sales. Yeah. So it was, it's changed my whole life. And that first year after that, it was all about physical recovery. I had to go through a lot of rehab and therapy and relearn how to do some basic things. And then, after that, I went back into corporate sales. They were very gracious with me from that standpoint. I really struggled mentally and emotionally to accept this new version of me. There was a lot of work that had to go into that process. And so I hired a life coach, and she was a game changer for me. And so left corporate and went into the home health industry, but really through COVID, in 2020 is really when I had this kind of aha moment of, can I do what my coach did for me for other people? So that's why, podcast guesting, I've loved it. It's been a great way to share bits and pieces of my story to, bring insight and hope and inspiration. Cause it's, as well as what I've seen now on the other side of it, what COVID has done to so many people in their headspace. This trickle down effect of almost coming up on 3 years. There's a lot of pain out there, a lot of suffering, a lot of struggle. So I help people with that.
Yeah. Wow. And when you say people, do you have a specific group of people that you like to work with the most?
The clients that I currently work with, they're high achievers. They're high achieving men and women. I've really enjoyed men reaching out to me lately over the last 3 months, exploring like, okay, on the outside, everything looks really good. I get paid really well. I'm really good at what I do. I've got family, I got friends. On the outside, everything looks great. But there's this feeling of unfulfillment happening, this feeling of lack of purpose, lack of clarity on the direction that they want to go. They're stuck, right? They're stuck in the comfort zone of safety because that's what they've done their whole careers potentially. And so those are the clients that I'm working with right now, is to help, bridge that gap and help them potentially take a leap and step into the unknown, because that's where the magic is.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So many questions I have for you.
I'm here for it.
Let's start with, when you had the stroke, what did you attribute that to? Do you, I mean, I know when we become coaches, we really look at how we create our realities, and a lot of us do, right? So I'm curious, like, your perspective on it. What happened there?
Stress was not the cause by any means, but I definitely think it was a factor as I was, taking on a brand new role with the company, brand new leadership team, brand new location with the company. I was coming off the best year of my career. So I was grinding for another one, to try and achieve another President's Club type year. All of that, I would take into consideration, was that the ultimate cause? No. And that's honestly been a four-year journey of finding out the real why behind having a stroke at 34. And
yeah,
we don't need to go into details on this. I'm happy to share what that was, but my message there is, and to everybody out there, is listen to your bodies.
Yeah.
Always. We're not trained to do that, And so the day that things were happening, obviously I didn't know I was having a stroke. It doesn't run in our family, but I was going to ignore it. I was going to hope that whatever was happening was going to subside. I was going to go to work that day and deal with it later. I remember telling myself that. And so my body didn't allow me to do that. And so that is part of my message, as well as being your own advocate and continuing to find answers, because that's what I had to do.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think this is so important, because it's so easy to get into the grind and not listen to yourself. And especially as a high achiever, we're powerhouse people, and we tend to be very headstrong.
Yep.
And, it's like, hey, I can go like better than most people. And it sounds like you can too. And so it's like, I think a lot of the people that I attract into my community, into the NFA style, it's like, I want to remind people it's NFA joy first and foremost. It's NFA intuition, NFA connecting with yourself, really listening, like you're saying, like being your own advocate and listening to your body. Will you give a couple tips? Because it sounds like this is something you're really brilliant at in your zone of genius, is helping people be their own advocate and listen to their body. What are some strategies for people to do that?
I would say the one of the biggest takeaways I took from going through my coaching certification in 2021, she would always tell us, when you want to go fast, slow down. Right? Yeah. So truly the power of pause.
Yeah.
The power of stillness, truthfully. The power of spending time outside without doing anything, without even listening to your, music or a podcast or being on the phone, but truly just sitting outside and connecting with your five senses, connecting with everything around you, right? The breath work, intentional breathing. We all obviously take that for granted every single day. But truly, when you have time in the morning, or set an alarm 2 to 3 times a day and take a few deep breaths, and that calms your nervous system down.
Yeah.
Power of breath.
It's amazing how complicated we make it and how it's actually very simple. And it's just true. Like you're saying, I always say it's exactly similar sentiment: slow down to speed up. It's like we like to be in a hustle, and we get really addicted to it, and just so used to it that it feels harder to slow down than it does to stay in that speed space. And it's so important. I notice, I don't know about you, I'm curious. I notice when I slow down, things in my outer world are so much easier.
Mm,
Have you noticed that?
that lands for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, the way I think about it, I always tell people your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you don't like what you're getting on the outside, you've got to look within.
It's
And when
true.
you're addicted to speed, you've got to slow down. And what happens is when you're addicted to speed, you rush and the universe around you has to slow down to balance that out because you're pushing. And usually it's something of impatience, feeling less than. And so you push, thinking once I get to this place, I'll feel better about things.
Right.
So then it's like, oh, let's slow down. And then
Yeah.
the universe can bring you the opportunities in a quicker way because you're not pushing, forcing, being impatient. And so that's an incredibly valuable lesson. I'm curious for you, like if you had to say, it sounds like the takeaways, and I'm sure there's so many from having such a life-altering experience. It sounds like it was a really, you're facing life and death, total, I would imagine just a complete overhaul of everything that you think and feel.
100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was until I worked with my life coach that I had to process the fact that there was a grieving process there, that I had to let go of an older version of myself and that I had to accept and embrace. And it's taken me, work and time to say that this new and improved version of myself.
Yeah.
That takes, it's not just time, right? Like I've connected with a lot of stroke survivors where they're unfortunately not there. They don't understand that they have survived this life-changing experience and they become victims of their own circumstance, their own situation. I'm very passionate also when I speak to people. One of my topics is the whole victim mentality thing. You're not giving your power away to that circumstance, to that other person, to that maybe terrible thing that has occurred, right? It's all about how you respond. Life's going to happen. Things are going to happen. Life is going to challenge you. We have the opportunity to respond in so many different ways. It's a power of choice.
Yeah, such gems. That's so true. Wow, thank you. That's amazing. Okay, let's shift to some business scaling questions. Is there anywhere you feel stuck right now in your business? Any places where you would love some feedback or insights in terms of either money blocks or scaling your business and, helping you with that magic wand piece of going like, hey, I'm ready to transition into more speaking. Where can I help you?
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, so I'm coming up on 1 year full time. At the end of March will be 1 year. And so it's been a complete roller coaster ride, right? I mean, you take this leap, the biggest leap of faith I've ever taken. And it's been all the feelings, all the things, exhilarating, scary, terrifying, exciting. And I wouldn't change a thing, and that's what I've also worked on, being able to say that, right? And really that's a mindset thing and saying, I want to be further along. I need to be further along than I am. Question that, right? And so I've got the awareness piece down as far as being able to question and being able to come back to my truth, and taking that pressure off myself from a former overachiever over here, an extremely competitive person. So being kind with myself. I think it's generating consistency when it comes to leads, whether that's speaking. I'm also working with small companies and businesses, mostly locally here right now in Indianapolis, which is cool. Meeting with companies that have, anywhere from 20 to 100 employees. And when I meet with these decision makers, a lot of them are men, which I love. That's very refreshing, honestly. And they understand where I'm coming from as far as the value I'm going to bring as a coach, right? It's not your sales and leadership type training. I'm here to talk about your mental and emotional wellness piece, right? How are you personally so you can show up as your best professional self? And the leaders, the people first leaders that are willing to see that and bring me in as a support, that's I want to build on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Okay. So would you say, when you say generating consistency with leads, what are your current strategies to attract new people into your business?
Yeah. So I'm really big on LinkedIn, obviously,
Okay.
and putting consistent content out there. And as well as from the speaking engagements I've had, those are great referral sources. It is a great way, from the topics and presentations that I've given, that someone will reach out to me after that and say, I want you to bring that to our team. So
Yeah.
that's been, that's obviously some offline type of networking and things that I've been able to do, but as well as trying to find more of a consistent lead gen strategy on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm on there, but finding more consistent way of generating those leads.
Awesome. Okay. What do you have a system that you use right now for DM? Because it sounds like you use, is it DMing that you use as a strategy?
Yeah, I have. And I worked with a company for a couple, 3 months to do that. I've taken a pause with them just because I have had generating some leads and it's at least some conversations and things. So I may look to pick that back up and just find it's making sure when you use a strategy like that I have no intention of wanting to come across spammy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't want it to be too much. I mean, I was in sales for 15 years. I know what that looks like and feels like. And I've also been DM'd, right, from other people that I know are using a strategy like that. And so I don't want it to come across that. I want it to come across as authentically me.
Yep. Definitely.
So I'm exploring what's going to be best for me on that.
Cool. Let me, this is going to be an interesting episode for people because this is really, you're talking about a tools question.
Okay.
For me, like, and everyone here, I'm going to say this, like, if you are listening to this, please use my links because I use the things as an affiliate. Like I use these, I never recommend something I'm not using myself. So the links I'm going to give are going to be affiliate links. Use these links specifically. Have you heard of Dub before?
Dub?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
So this is a really cool. So I'll give you a link. And for everyone listening, these will be in the show notes. And actually, I'll tell you here. So, like, let me look this up so I can shout it out to people who are listening on the podcast. I have bit.ly links for these, and so check these two out. So this one is. It's a video platform. It's really cool. So for everyone listening, it's bit.ly. So here's a great resource for people who don't know it. I'd be surprised if you don't, but if you don't, just in case, bit.ly, if you don't know bit.ly, awesome way to create, a link out of, do you know bit.ly, Jennifer?
I know it, but I don't use it. Like personally, I've used it from other people, but
it's just a great way when you have like a long form link that you want to put in, say, show notes, or you want to put it on posts. You have a shorter link that makes it a lot easier to read. Yes. So bit.ly, I have the free account. It's great. I'm sure you can do more with it with the paid account. But for example, for this, I have my link for Dub. So it would be bit.ly/NFA money -dub. So still kind of long. I still love to do, like, often I'll use regular domain names to mask things if I'm going to be shouting them out a lot. And for you, Jennifer, I'll put this in the chat so you have a link straight to it. So bit.ly is awesome. And then that's a free thing. Anyone can use it. Dub, I have an account with Dub and I've used this for years. It is an incredible tool. It integrates with LinkedIn. It integrates with I use Kajabi as my hosting platform. It integrates there. It integrates in your email. So I use it strategically. It's a video platform. And then you create, it's like, here's an example. Someone will message me on Instagram and I can make a video back saying like, hey, thanks for the follow. So this is how I grew my whole first round of my podcast. People would follow me and I would send them a Dub video as a link. So you create a link with the Dub video and then you say, hey, it's so great to connect with you. And it's really personalized and personable. And I can't tell you how many people I had message back and be like, I've never seen anything like this. This is awesome. And so it takes away that gross salesy edge that you're talking about where you're like, ugh, no one likes to be sold to. Right. It's more building relationships. And so it's a really great relationship building strategy. So I've used it that way. I use it like, let's say I have a consult with someone. After the consult, I'll recap everything we talked about and send them a video. And people love that. It's just so personalized. I send it in my newsletters. So when I send out newsletters, I'll use Dub sometimes as a newsletter to say like, hey, how's it going? And it's just so personalized. I use it for online courses. So I create videos that go in I have a 30-day series for my book that gets a follow-up after the book. Like when they're reading through my book, it's a free course, comes straight to their email and they click on it and it takes them to the Dub platform. And it's just this really easy way to integrate an online course. So there are a lot of uses for it. LinkedIn, there's actually a button on LinkedIn. It integrates and you can click it in the DMs and send someone a message straight from the message on LinkedIn. So It's a really cool marketing platform that I use. I don't know what they would call it. It's like a video marketing, let's say.
Yeah. I've heard of there's a couple other video type of marketing sites. I can't think of the name. There's one here, Co-Video is what it's called, actually.
Oh, cool. Okay. So similar, I'm sure there are other ones. This is the one I use that I love.
Okay.
Let me grab you. And this one I actually don't have. I don't think I've made a link for this one, but I'm gonna share it. I'll give it to you afterwards because Jennifer and I are recording this. Of course, it's gonna be posted later. By the time this is posted, the link will be there for you, and it's just gonna be NFA Money Flow Chat. NFA Money Flow Chat. So just go to www.nfamoneyflowchat. So this is the system I use to contact everyone for this podcast. And it's a really cool program. I am an affiliate. If you want advice from me about it, definitely use my link. When I started my business, I did a lot of DMing, but you can only do so much before you start to lose your mind and go like, I can't keep track of all of this.
Right.
And so FlowChat is a social media CRM that helps you keep track of things. And so it's got pre-populated messages, but then you can, of course, customize them. And so what I do is I have my team send out an initial message. And then when I start talking to people, I take over because I want it to be very personalized and not salesy.
Right.
And so, I have a message that works really well to get, like, I'm sure you received one, which was like, hey, would you be interested in, if you're a podcast junkie, are you interested in my podcast? Would you like to come on the show? We have this opportunity for a biz breakdown session or a woman entrepreneur podcast party. And this is such an easy way to get people interacting because it's an offer to them that's free where they get publicity, right? So there's no sales going on. And then, let's say that you find out about the offerings I have and it's a good fit, then awesome. You come into my community and you become a client. And so it's just a really relationship building strategy. And so I love FlowChat. So, everyone listening, go to NFA Money Flow Chat, and it's FLOW chat, CHAT. And so it's just a social media CRM that works great. So if I would say, for you at the stage of the game that you're at, if you're willing to invest in having something along those lines, it is an awesome system. Like when I found it, I was like, oh my God, where has this been all my life?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that could be a great way. And then you can really make it so that let's talk that, I think especially because you have a history of sales and you use DMs, share a little bit there. Like what's a strategy you use that you have found works well? And would you want any tweaking of it that I can help you with?
Yeah. So to that, I would say one of my strengths is relationship building. So, no matter what, I always, I spent 10 years in the beer, wine, and spirits industry. So that was, I'm not going to say an easier sell, but at the same time, a lot of established accounts, I wasn't cold calling. It was, here's a new product or do you want more of the product that you have type of thing. Whereas when I went into corporate, I was cold calling. And so I did have to establish relationships pretty quickly. But whether I was selling a beer or, I was facility services, uniform type company, they had to trust me before they trusted anything that I was going to sell them. Or even being in home health, I still built relationships with them. And even though I didn't feel like I'm selling home health, it was more of an educational process.
Yeah.
They still had their choices of who they were going to choose, right? From that standpoint, just like anything that I was in sales. So if I could build a relationship with them and turn it personal as soon as I could.
Yeah.
To get them not talking about what I was there for, but to get to know them on a different level.
Yeah.
More times than not, that would work for me to make them feel like I can connect with her, and she's not just here to make a sale. Yeah. That was very important to me. So on the flip side of that, I am not an overly assertive person. I just kind of trust that whatever was going to happen with who it was going to happen and why and where and all of the things. So that's where my heart is on that.
Yeah. I love that. So when you're using any sort of sales strategy, it sounds like first and foremost about relationship building. And then you trust that if it's supposed to turn into a sale of some sort, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those,
Yeah.
those are two of my values, so it's making sure and staying authentic is my third. So
Yeah.
authentic, building connection and creating trust. And
Yeah.
that's really why I do this, is
Yeah.
then to contribute to these clients, these people, these audiences. Something bigger than myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I do this.
Awesome. I love that. That's such valuable information because I think people get really freaked out about sales. And I always think of selling as caring.
Yeah.
It's just selling is caring. Hey, let's get to know each other and see if what I have fits. If it doesn't, it's not like, oh, need to feel bad like you're rejecting me. It's just like,
Right.
oh, what I have isn't the right solution for you at this time.
Yeah. And that's a great point. I would also say, because now, although it does feel like I'm selling myself, I'm
Mm-hmm.
still really just selling my services, my coaching program, my what I speak on, right? And I'm so thankful with the coaching community that I'm in, that there's always those reminders of it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
as again, a former, as a high achiever, you want to tie your worth to
Yeah.
something external. But
Yeah.
it's been great work that I've done for me, right? Is knowing it has nothing to do with me if they say no at
Yeah.
all. My
Right.
program just wasn't a fit for them, but that's it.
Yeah.
Not tying attachment to it.
Yeah. I like that you highlighted as well that I think when people step from sales for a different company into their own sales, there is that fear that feels very different. It's like, oh, I'm selling myself, I'm promoting myself. It feels, I think it's this fear of, I'm curious what you would say it is. I think of it as this fear of like, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging about what I have. I
Mm,
don't want to have people think it's so just it's fascinating to watch what people's brains do when they go from selling somewhere else to selling in their own business and selling their own products and services. As people tend to shrink and play small and hide, and I call it apologetic sales.
yeah.
They get like desperate and kind of needy and weird.
Yeah. Well, and then you're not coming from a place of what you called caring, or what I would
Yeah.
call serving. It's
Yeah.
just coming from a place of service, and always remembering that at the forefront, and not
Absolutely.
coming from a place of lack that I
Yeah.
need clients, but that I'm
Yeah.
going to attract them. I'm attracting clients, and they're not coming from a place of desperation or
Yeah.
need.
Yeah,
It's a mindset
absolutely.
thing.
It is. It
It is.
definitely is. I like to call it the magnetic sales mindset. So I have a workshop and speaking that I do on magnetic sales, and it's the art of magnetic sales, and it's exactly that. It's like dropping the apology, dropping the desperation, dropping the fear, stepping powerfully. People are buying your confidence first and foremost. They're
Yeah.
buying you as a solution.
Right.
And so if you are acting as if you're scared and confused and don't know what you're doing, or because you don't know how to sell, they feel that
Right.
energetically, unconsciously.
It's true.
And it makes things very challenging. So speaker wise, what have you built out for your speaker platform?
It's all been offline mostly.
Okay.
It's really just been networking and referral based, around the
Okay.
Indianapolis market and kind of around the state. I've been around the state of Indiana. I'm looking to expand that and try and figure out what other speaker platforms on there where they look for speakers, where these platforms have the leads coming in. Here's my profile. Am I a fit for what they're looking for? So
Yeah.
I am working with a couple of those different type platforms
Okay.
as far as exploring. But yeah, it's mostly just been word of
Word of
mouth.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And expanding, are you happy with the flow that's coming in for you? Are you ready to increase it?
I'd be open to increasing it at this
Okay.
point more,
Yeah.
more,
Yeah,
more
one thing,
consistency would
here
be good.
another resource, if everyone goes to bookdramanda.com, I'm in that boat right now of expanding my speaking platform, and so I created a sizzle reel and one sheets and an overview of what I offer, and so it's a great example for people to look at, and or of course, if you're looking for a speaker, hire me.
Yeah.
But for you, Jennifer, I'm sure you've seen pages like this before, but it's a really easy, powerful way using Dove, reaching out to
Okay.
people and sending them to your page to book a talk. And then you have a conversation to tailor something for them. And so it's just a great way to start to build a presence as a professional paid speaker. What I've noticed for startup speakers or speakers who are in your case looking, going, it's just word of mouth, and I let whatever come my way. In that more direct approach, it's bringing people to it directly and having the resources there so they can get a taste of you and see what it would be like to have you speak. And so, one thing I think that's really important for you at this stage is definitely making sure you get some video and some images of when you are speaking so that you can create something along those lines. And what will happen is that you will be able to get gigs more easily and at much higher pay.
Yeah.
And of course it's that, hey, she's a professional speaker versus like a dabbling hobbyist,
right,
is the way I think of it.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So just, these are things I wish people had told me, like day one was like, hey, record. And for me, it was interesting because I did a lot of speaking during COVID. So it was all online to huge groups, but I didn't track it. I didn't take screenshots. I don't have access to the video. So then, I'm on stage with like big players virtually, which makes a difference, but I don't have any evidence of it because it was a virtual world. And even I've heard of a lot of people who are like, oh my God, I've done so many speaking gigs, but I don't have one picture from it.
Yeah.
So just remember, it's really important for you at this stage of the game. And then definitely the people that you speak to, the event planners, make sure you're getting testimonials from them.
Okay.
So that you can use that in the future. And then really tap into asking for referrals when you are at an event. Make sure you're asking like, hey, who do you know who I could speak to in this way? Have a strategy for making sure that you connect with the audience in a way where you get their information as well. So you can start building a community and brand around that.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I try and do that piece of it. I definitely want to make sure that there's like a leave behind or a call to action, if you will. Yeah. From that standpoint. But I've just haven't made priority the video piece, making sure I capture not even necessarily the whole thing, but just snippets here and there to be able to show.
Yeah. And so that's and you don't need a ton, it can be just a couple things. So, and it can be pictures even. It can be videos that are playing in the background of you talking about what you speak about. So you'll see. So, if everyone goes to bookdramanda.com, you'll see my sizzle reel. It's about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And it's me talking about what I offer, but then interweaving some images and things like that, and just a few speaking events that I've been at, and then intermingled with testimonials from places that I've spoken before, and then a one sheet downloadable. So one thing that's really important, for everyone who's interested in being on the speaker market, you want to make it really simple for the people who are looking for you to know that you are a professional, that you will have your shit together.
Yeah.
Because planning an event is a lot of work.
Yep.
And so you want them to have a one sheet, and then you want to have a way for them to book a call with you. And then once you book the call and you get the gig, then you have even another, it's like a contract, but it shows like, what are your exact media requirements and what are your travel requirements, so that when they are booking you to speak, they know that they can have peace of mind working with you. And then what happens is you start to be able to build a referral network of speaking opportunities, because people will share with other people like, oh my God, Jennifer is amazing to work with, and so she's a dream to have come on. She's got everything organized and together, and she calls me and it's so helpful. And then her talk is obviously incredible, and that kind of thing. So you want to be building out thinking in that way. If, I really like to help people go, like, if you're going to be a speaker, brand yourself as a professional speaker and be professional about it.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Do you have an example of not necessarily, I have a one sheeter, but then after that, like something, that you were talking media requirements, more of those details?
Yeah, definitely. Not on the webpage, because that happens after people book a talk with me.
Okay.
But yes, definitely message me and I can send you some stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
And then, on the website, one sheets are there. And I would say go right now when you do you do keynotes and workshop style?
Yeah, I've done both.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. So then, the variety of talks you have, just come up with a few ideas and create a one sheet out of that. And then just, it's awesome that you already have business coming your way for it. I mean, it means that you would be able to accelerate that really quickly and easily. And so just make sure you're capitalizing on what you've already done so that you can expand it. And, I look at it, I don't know what your financial goal or revenue goal is from it, but, it's like people who want to create a speaking business, and especially ones who are already experienced and have stuff coming their way, you can accelerate your business growth very quickly. And it really increases your impact in the world.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's definitely, that is my intention for this year and beyond, for speaking, whether it's keynotes or company paid type workshops like that.
Yeah.
That's where I see a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. That's great. That'll be fun. Yeah. So just, I mean, I'd say, for anyone listening, including you, Jennifer, it's like, just start with, okay, how do I create a professional, simple website that shows people that I'm a speaker, come up with a great domain to send, do a short sizzle reel to start. It'll get better over time, of course, as you have more speaking gigs to enter in the B-roll for it. Create the one sheet and start calling. I think the easiest way when you're starting is who you know already, and just reach out and say to the people you've already spoken to, hey, I'm expanding my platform. Do you know anyone else who's looking? So start there. That's always the easiest way to scale clients or speaking or any business. And then from there, start expanding out and reaching out to email me after this, because I have, and actually for women who come on biz breakdown sessions, I always send a resources sheet and I specify it and tailor it to you. Some of it's just generic, like I send to everybody, but I'll put a link in. I have a really cool platform that gives lists for speakers. So it has like the name of the organization and all the information. And so I'll send you a link to them so you can check that out too.
Thank you. That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah, totally. I love to provide value and give you resources.
Thank you.
So for everyone listening, of course, this is a different type of conversation today. Often I'm giving like really specific business scaling, let's say some mindset stuff. Jennifer, obviously, as a mindset coach, has a lot of that already tapped in. And so, this today resources. So I want to recap the resources. So for everyone, I will have the Dub link. So you can go to Dub, check that out. It is an amazing tool. It's not expensive. It's really awesome. And then go to nfamoneyflowchat.com, nfamoneyflowchat.com. That will give you my affiliate info to plug into FlowChat. You'll watch a video and then you can schedule an appointment straight with them. They're the experts, and you can go from like a really low level plan all the way up to like having weekly coaching with them. And it's not that expensive. And holy moly, what I did actually was I opted into the coaching for 2 months and I learned the system. And then I went down in payment to the lower plan because I didn't need the coaching anymore. So lots of opportunities there. Really great way if you're looking to grow social media, grow your list, grow interaction, have a way to track it. FlowChat is the jam for you. And then for if you're looking at being a speaker, go to bookdramanda.com, bookdramanda.com, and look at the example there and just see what I've created and what's working. And that will be a great resource as well. I'm curious for you, Jennifer, just, as we're wrapping up, what action steps will you take based on our conversation?
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued, and we'll take a look at Dub, FlowChat, and your site. Those 3 resources you just mentioned are the 3 action steps I'm going to take, actually, just to explore.
Awesome.
Yeah, better ways to do things as I grow this thing.
Yeah. I mean, you've got such a leg up because you already know how to sell. I think that's one of the biggest things that people freak out about when they start a new business. And so now to me, your scaling will be based on tools, getting the right tools to be able to scale more quickly. I agree.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm like, I know that one of my strengths is not like it's the tech piece and the back-end systems and operations. Like that's not my strength or my headspace. I don't get excited about it. I'm not, so it's being resourceful and knowing who I can talk to kind of help, support and guide me as I do this, but also know, I want to choose to learn how to do more of this on my own. Right. There's a balance, I think.
There is. And then, also I think knowing when to delegate that stuff away. There are certain things in my business that I will use the words I hate doing this. And that is an instant note, note to self, delegate this immediately.
Got it. Yeah.
Because if
Okay.
you're doing stuff you hate to do, you don't enjoy your life or your business, and the journey feels gross and bad, and you dread waking up to do it. And I always love to teach people, don't create a prison out of your business. This is about you being in your zone of genius, doing what you love. And that's how you get into your zone of manifestation, where you're magnetic, you're attracting people your way easily, money's flowing in and growing because you are doing the things that you love. And people get scared to delegate. So don't be afraid, at the stage you're in, to start going, okay, when I delegate to someone, let's say even you decide to use FlowChat, learn the system and then delegate it out to start those initial conversations. So you're not doing stuff that just feels repetitive and not fun for you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that reminder. Cause I definitely, as I have conversations with coaches that are a step or two ahead of me, and like knowing what's worked for them, or taking that not the pressure off, but in a sense of like, knowing what my coach taught me, right? Staying in your zone of genius and knowing what's not in there in your zone of genius, and being able to delegate that out.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. So many fun conversations. Thank you for coming on. Will you share with people where they can find you?
Yes. So Amanda was kind enough to share. I'm big on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn,
your handle?
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. My handle, Jennifer Chapman, Mindset Coach. And then I'm pretty active on Facebook as well, at jennifer.chapman.96. I'm still growing my Instagram. It was hacked last year, so that was also a little learning lesson. We're just to kind of start again. But those are the two main platforms, as well as justcommitcoaching.com is my website, and you can book a complimentary coaching call on there.
Awesome. Okay. So justcommitcoaching.com. And then if you're listening on the podcast, and just to make sure you know how to spell her last name, it's Jennifer, Jennifer, Chapman, Chapman, Mindset Coach. So that's LinkedIn, Jennifer Chapman, Mindset Coach. And then Facebook at jennifer.chapman.96. And then website, www.justcommitcoaching.com or just commit.
Yeah. And I can put it in the chat, but there is no www. So I don't want people to get.
Got it.
Yeah.
I know it's funny because sometimes I forget that you say that, and sometimes you don't.
I know. Yeah. So it's
justcommitcoaching.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. That's a great title. Yeah. Really good. Really good. Good branding. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Jennifer. It was fun to chat with you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me today, man. I really appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, all of you beautiful ladies out there, I love to have you here too. I hope that I know you got a lot out of today. It's always, I love doing these biz breakdown sessions where it's just this organic nature of like, hey, let's see what comes up and share with each other. I think it's really important to build a community of women who are like, hey, we're in this together. Let's help each other out. Let's give each other tips. Let's cheer each other on. Let's help each other see our blind spots. Like, that's what the Women Entrepreneur Podcast is all about. And that's what I love to do. So if you haven't come on for a biz breakdown session yet, go to the womenentrepreneurpodcast.com. At the top of the page, you'll see a link that says get your biz breakdown session. There's another link now for a Women Entrepreneur Podcast party. This was so exciting. Actually, at the time of this recording, we are having the first one today recorded, and then we're doing another one in March. And I've had such great response. I had no idea how quickly these would fill up. So the one for March is already half full. So get in there. It might be full by the time you hear this, but I'm going to start doing them every month. Because I've had such a great response. So if you want to come on for that, even if you've been on a biz breakdown session or you've already been on a Women Entrepreneur Podcast party, this is a place for you to come and hang out with other women entrepreneurs. And we're going to throw out a business topic, and then we're going to do a roundtable, kind of like speed dating style, share your business, share who you're looking for or something you're looking for to reach out to the community. So this is really about community building. So just go to the womenentrepreneurpodcast.com, check out what's there. I would love to get to hang out with you. So thanks everyone for being here. Thank you, Jennifer, again.
Thank you.
Yeah. And until next time, I'm sending everyone hugs and NFA money-making high fives. Hey friends, just a quick reminder that I'm looking for women entrepreneurs who want to do a biz breakdown session with me on this show just like the one that you heard on today's episode. Think of this as a zone of manifestation audit to help you scale your business and make money more easily. During our recorded session, you'll get free money coaching from me with clear action steps that will help you scale your business more easily. And of course, as a guest on the show, you'll be able to promote your business and get some extra exposure. I'm doing this on a first come, first served basis. So head on over to www.thewomanentrepreneurpodcast.com and sign up for your biz breakdown session today.